Well, hey, everybody. And yes, happy birthday yesterday to Yadira. We had quite a few birthdays yesterday. Was it Carrie Ann's or was it Crafty Carrie? It was a Carrie as well. Hey, Alabama Rose. And I just really am sorry that I wasn't here yesterday, Yadira, to tell you happy birthday live. We love our mods, and I'm very grateful for them. Hey, Viggy Cat. Joanne Hawley's here. Jojo made it before she goes to sleep. Hey, Pat Jonas. Lean Duh. That's okay, babe. We'll catch you on the next time. Pepperoni Nips. Wonder which one she means, which song. Let's see. Who else? Sassy Savage made it. Lisa Kelson. Nice. That sounds really good. I'm going to make chili this week. Hey, Kim Leaf. Donna Cooper. Debbie A. Maisie Shiloh. The trial of Brian Walsh, who lives close by, is so boring. I'm glad that you stopped by then, Maisie Shiloh. That's an honor, girl. Kim, you're enjoying a chai. Good for you. I'm just glad it's not a black coffee. I got home and discovered my Anthropology order live. I'll probably be quiet in the beginning while I try them on. I am excited for you, Abigail, and I hope it all works out. Holly Day got that black Tommy dress on the sale, and I wish I had bought it. I didn't, and she sent me a picture of herself in it, and it's such a beautiful dress. It's so classic. Yeah, Donna Cooper. Hey, Liz Tricks. Hey, Joel Sachs. Anna Pikachu Hunter is here. Alabama Rose again. Let's see. Katie Did It, made it. Ewa. MLG Gamer. Hey, Buffy. Hey, Just As I Am. Honey Lou made it. Lori Lee. That's okay. That's good. You're out walking your dogs. Hi, Mrs. Hunty. Margie Barr made it. Catherine B. Jamie Palmer. Rachel Stone is Squirrel Girl. Hey, Squirrel Girl. West Coast Fancy Nancy. That would be really nice. Third Eye Open. We'll try to make that happen. Rachel Sandy made it. Anna Banana. I feel like I have to sneeze. Oh my God, it's Rogue Hedgie. Everybody say hi to Rogue Hedgie. Hold on. I'm trying to kind of wean off of my Zyrtec because it's winter now, and I think it's probably not the time to do it. Rogue Hedgie, I'm really happy to see you in here. I love Rogue Hedgie. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Hey, Armine. Thank you, Armine. Hey, Teresa. Debbie Zito is here. Wow, Tori. You know, I was just thinking about you the other day. It's Tori Magoo, everybody. Nice to see you in here. We talked about streaming before. I've been talking to some people behind the scenes about Scientology, and I was just saying today how much I miss streaming sometimes with an ex-Scientologist. And if you're ever up for it, I would love to stream together. I really would. And it's an honor. Thank you for being here. Hey, Marie Marion, Angie Moe, Bethany made it. Ooh, that sounds amazing, Teresa. Jam Jam. Hey, babe, and thank you for being a member. Kim Leaf. Hey, Heather. Thanks, Tori. I think I'm behind in the chat. Okay, I'm a minute behind. It's not bad. Thanks, Maisie Shiloh. Coming from you, that means a lot. Hey, Alana, are you still in Japan? Is the question for you. Okay, I just caught up. Hey, Lacey Silver. Lacey, by the way, it was good to see you in the Zoom call, my friend. But yes, Tori, if you're ever up for that, I don't know. I was talking about Sterling today with somebody, and okay, she's still in Japan. That's amazing. I was talking about Sterling today with someone, and I just sometimes miss that. Well, thank you for being here, Tori. And if you're ever up for it, I would like to do a stream sometime. I just trying to use my voice more for against Scientology, I should say. And it would be an honor to talk with you sometime and get to know you. Thank you, Pat Jonas. Angry Otter Reacts. Well, thank you. And thank you for being here. I don't recognize your name. Hey, Puka Vista. Michelle Lynn. Angel made it. Thank you, Lacey. It was for me too. Hey, Jennifer Ogle. I'm sorry I missed you yesterday. Tori, it would be amazing, honestly. I don't know. I talk about Scientology here, but there's something about, and you may agree with me, you may not on this, but there's something about it's very therapeutic for me to discuss it with a former ex-Scientologist. I felt like I was in such, wow, first time in. Well, welcome in. You randomly showed on my feed. Well, welcome in. You're very welcome here. This is an amazing community. Um, there's just something therapeutic about talking it out, talking about your story, and it's very validating to do that with another ex-Scientologist. For me, it is, but it might be because I'm so still newly out. It feels good to talk with someone who understands me. Like, I can talk with people all day about it that weren't in, and that's still therapeutic and validating. But with someone who really understands what we both went through, there's something to be said for that. It's very powerful. And hey, Viggy Cat. And anyway, Tori, I would really love to do that sometime if you're up for it. I'm kind of craving doing content. I did something with Shalise and Sola on Cults to Consciousness last weekend, and I hadn't streamed with anyone in a long time besides Tommy. And yeah, I know you understand, Tori. And I just kind of thought of you in the last few days, and I was like, I'd really like to talk with her. I just find it very validating. Hey, Wendy, I like your new picture. So, Tori, I know you said you have to go, but it was an honor for you to stop by, and I'd love to actually meet you sometime. Thank you for being here. Hey, Linda Gillum. Shelly Kelly, I would like to use my membership chat to wish our lovely Yadira a wonderful belated birthday. She is amazing, and it's an honor to be her friend. That is so sweet, and it's true. It's absolutely true. We love Yadira. I appreciate you being a member, Shelly Kelly. We really love our mods, but Yadira brings something very magical to my life. She is, hey, babe. Good Lord, I love you in black. Thanks, babe. She really is. Yadira brings something like very spicy, very zesty. She's hilarious. But at the same time, she's not, to be honest. She's deep and she's very sincere and she's very, I would say, intuitive. I would call her very intuitive. She's quite the woman. She's very, I don't know what to say, but she really makes you laugh. Hey, Renee B. But there's the word I keep coming up with is she's very deep. There's something a lot of depth to Yadira. She's a very interesting person, and there's something about her that makes you feel very safe when you talk to her. So thank you, Yadira, and happy birthday to you, babe. Kevin Conklin, I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, babe, it was her birthday yesterday, and I didn't stream, and I feel bad about that. Can't let myself out, still looking at you. Well, you don't have to leave. I know you're doing another stream, but you just finished a stream. You can stay for just a minute. Critters Creations, you'll be lurking, you're crocheting. I'm just glad you're here, my friend. And I'm really glad that you shared with us in the Zoom call. I really appreciated that. And thank you. Hey, Galen, I'm glad that you're feeling better. Good to see you. Hey, Wendy Brewer, I hope your mom is better. Hey, Starlina. Yadira is funny, smart, deep thinker, a fantastic friend and sister. She is. And she is all that in a bag of chips. Holy 90s. Wow. Really retro. Third Eye Open, kicking it old school. Not many women are as powerful as she is. Love you to the moon and back. Yeah, I agree with that. Snoopy Bunny is here. He is a Snoopy Bunny, Maisie Shiloh. Hey, Just Joan. Pat Jonas. Hey, K-Fic. That's okay. This is kind of funny to me. Yadira is all that in a bag of chips. It's so 90s. I saw a really funny meme. Do you guys remember in the 90s those shirts that said no fear? I remember that brand. It was like no fear. I saw a hilarious meme that said, we all wore those no fear t-shirts, but there was fear. Again, it's just my kind of humor. I don't know why I found that so funny. Tommy, if you're still here, I replayed your earlier live. All 4 episodes of 50s documentary are out. Were released all at once. Okay, Debbie Zito, I hope you got that message to Tommy because I read it aloud for you. Hey, Katie Fulton. Reese, as you remind me, I'm old. The 90s were my decade. I know. Pretty old. She's pretty old. And that's okay. Yeah, the no fear t-shirts, but there was some fear. Abigail says, I got 2 dresses, keeping one and returning one. I took a picture of the one I'm keeping and we'll post in the Facebook group. I would love it if you would do that, Abigail. And you know what? That's okay. We all have to return stuff sometimes. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. Anthro is really easy about ordering and returning. I've only seen 2 so far, says Tommy to Debbie. We're just going to do this commentary back and forth for those 2. 90s were the best. I don't know that I remember them that well. Kevin Conklin, I'm so happy to see you. And I love the pictures you've been posting on Facebook. 90s were a weird time for me. I was on staff. I was doing all kinds of stuff I probably shouldn't have been doing. Your mom's getting better. Hopefully she's coming home in 2 to 3 days. Wendy Brewer, keep us posted. We will continue to pray for your mom and send well wishes and healing vibes. Hey, Holly. So I want to say I'm sorry that I didn't make it yesterday. I know that it's okay to take a day off, and I chose to do that. For whatever reason yesterday, I did not take a shower. I did not do anything. I just couldn't. I felt very worn out, and I think that's okay. I think I overdid it. Honestly, on Saturday I did the 2020s will be my favorite soon. Interesting. Colton Crims. That's different. Saturday I streamed for like 4.5 hours with Shalise, which was amazing. I can't wait for it. Then I did a stream here after that. Then I did a stream on Colton Crims. And then Sunday we did almost 9 hours, like 8 hours, 45 minutes on the Zoom call. And then I streamed on Monday, and I couldn't tell yesterday if it was depression or if I was just burned out. I couldn't tell. I don't know. I got up yesterday and I got a bunch of stuff done. I put some clothes away. I was really spent like 4 hours. Oh, okay. You're cute, babe. I spent like 4 hours getting a lot done. And then the rest of the day, I just burned out. I just couldn't do it. Also, Bo did something. Can I tell him what you did? You don't mind if I tell him, do you? There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Although it was super weird and everybody was uncomfortable by your behavior. And we were really grossed out and we thought it was weird. We thought it was weird, Bojangies, but we're just going to share it publicly here. So yesterday I'm like, I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. By mid-afternoon, I was like, I can't do anything. I just couldn't. I felt drained and I was like, I haven't showered yet. I stink. There's like a by K-Fic. There's an odor. And I just can't bring myself to do it. It was just too much. Babe, he is a good person, Sam. But so last night, I was in bed by like 5:30. I'm not kidding. I climbed into my bed. I turned on the heating pad that Meredith Lynn sent me. And I was like, we're just going to have to live with our choices in life. And he's laying on the floor, which usually he lays in bed with me. Wendy, we're going to get into that. Wendy, I hope you don't leave. He's on the floor, which sometimes he does that, babe. And Moose is a murderer. He's not a retired criminal like his dad. He's a current crim. And Moose kills pretty much everything all day. He's a barn cat. He kills things, and I hate it. And he kills moles and mice. Yeah. Hey, Sandy Wandy. I agree, Kevin. Hey, Sophia. And last night, I think Moose killed a little mole creature and left it out in the freezing cold. And Bo brought it in and carried it around like it was a baby. He thought it was his baby. And Bo was carrying this thing gently in his mouth and planted down on the ground with it and laid it next to his face and like laid next to it. And it was like this big, but I think Bo thought it was his baby. And I had no idea. And I'm just watching an episode of Girls on my iPad because I never watch TV. And I did it yesterday. Yeah, I don't know if we're exhausted or depressed. I don't know either, Cheryl Anderson. Keep me posted on an answer when you come up with it. So Kid walks up to him and I'm sitting there just stuffing my face as one does when you're depressed or exhausted. We don't know which, according to Cheryl Anderson. And I'm watching an episode of Girls and I'm totally checked out in my stink, in my grease. Like it was bad. I was like, I can't do anything. I can't even change my underwear right now. I'll feed that soul. I need to get to work, but that black with the black glasses is killing me. I'll let myself out. Damn, babe. Really? Doesn't really do anything for me, but I don't do anything for me. So I'm glad I have a boyfriend that I do things for. Thanks. I'll see you later. So kid walks in. Thank you, sassy Cinderella. Kid walks in. And Bo, I've never seen him be so aggressive. He showed his teeth. He snarled. My popcorn flew up in the air. It scared the ever living out of me. And I was like, what happened? Oh, okay. Never mind. Pat Jonas just brought it. You're very Diane Keaton. Okay. Never mind. It's doing a lot for me, Colts and Crims. We all know how I feel about Diane Keaton. I'm channeling Diane Keaton. Everything about her, I'm never going to forget her. It's kind of like James Gandolfini, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Robin Williams, Tom Petty. There are a few that I can't get over, and she's going to be one of them. Thank you, Wendy. So he like snarled like he was going to kill Kid, and it scared. I've never seen him do that before. I've never seen him act that way. And I looked down, and he's got this little baby dead mole. And after such a good Sunday, Monday was bad for me. Holly, I'm so sorry. He lost his mind and he picked this thing up and he was like carrying it around. Oh, it's Olga. That's right. I'm sorry I said Sassy Cinderella. Anyway, it freaked me out and he didn't want to let go of it. And then he like laid back down with it and put it next to his muzzle and he was like laying on the ground with it. And it was really sad. You took that compliment beautifully. Love you too, babe. Thank you. I'm working on that. David Bowie. Okay, now that you're going to say David Bowie, Alan, who? Alan. Help me. He died like 2 days before David Bowie. Alan Rickman. That's another one I really loved, and I loved him in Love Actually, and I'm not over it. Exhausted and Depressed. Yeah, I don't know which. Maybe it is both. It could be both, Katie. Anyway, it was weird for all of us. It was uncomfortable for everyone. And I was like, oh my God. I had like popcorn. Hey, Rhonda McNeil had popcorn all over me. Because again, I was just like checked out. Hey, Kestrel. I was checked out. I was zoned out. I was just like stuffing my face with popcorn. I smelled really bad. I accepted it and just let it go. And he snarled at her. And I loved him, Chris Crafts and Coffee. And I was like, Huxley. And I had to grab Bo's collar and pull him while Huxley picked up the dead thing. But guys, it was a little depressing because I think he thought it was his baby because it was a little black mouse mole thing. And because Bo is black, I think he thought this little furry thing is mine, it belongs to me. And he was just carrying it around. And it was one of the most depressing, disgusting things I'd ever seen. I never saw that movie, Maisie Shiloh. Guys, Huxley has a therapy appointment in like 15 minutes. I have him all set up, but if there's something he needs help with, I might have to step away for a minute to help him get the link, but it should be fine. His therapist just texted me. Debbie Zito. Yeah. So anyway, that was depressing. Moving on. We have an actual topic. Get him. Okay. Get him a stuffed animal. What a concept, Sophia. Bo has 3 bins full of stuff, his babies, and he will, thank you, Yadira. He will carry, we've named them all. Like they have names. He carries them like they're babies. He's never torn up anything. Bo has more toys probably than I have shoes. Okay, that's a lie. But Bo has so many babies that, guys, I have a toddler all day long. All I'm doing is picking up babies and putting them back in his crate, in his bins that we keep them in. I have 3 of them around my house. All I do, hey, Susan P, is pick up babies and put them back. If I get up in the middle of the night to pee, he gets up with me. He goes and gets a baby and brings it back to the bed. By morning, there's like 7 babies next to me on our bed. He is all about babies. He carries them everywhere. I think he's still, he's a puppy. I think he has the mind of a puppy. And I'm not sure that that's going to change. He's our special boy, and that's perfectly okay. But yeah. So I do have a real topic, and there's something I want to get into. Babe, you don't have to leave. No one's asking you to leave. People like you being here. I made a note about it. Yeah, it's so cute. Hey, Jan, Angie Mo. It's so cute. Uh, Actually, this pertains to Tommy, but I don't know if he's going to stick around for this. Only because he was a part of the example that I came up with today. Hey, Sierra Terry. Hey, Melissa. Okay, so guys, I have something real I want to discuss that's kind of been on my mind. You know how like people say protect your peace? You know all those like isms that people say that are very meaningful, but I'm not so sure that we always it's kind of one of those when the student well babe then stick around because I do have something I was going to talk about you for a minute, but whatever, you don't have to. You know those it's one of those when the student is ready, the teacher appears kind of a thing. You can say to someone all day long, protect your peace, like it's the most important thing. Depending on where somebody's at in their life, it's like saying to a smoker, you should really quit. Those are bad for you. It's the same thing. When the student is ready, the teacher is going to appear. So I don't know where old Charlie is. I hope he's okay. Um, yeah, Kestrel. So I thought of something. I know, Helena, don't be in here, babe. Don't be in here if you have a migraine. I had a headache too. I just took some Advil. I also haven't had any water in a couple of days. I've been drinking tea, and that's not good. So I've been working through something lately, and all of this kicked off the day before Huxley's birthday. You're all pretty aware of it. I started talking about Michael, and then I went into the Doug stuff, and I haven't really gotten through it. I haven't felt right since. Something has shifted. Could be in a good way, could be in a bad way. I don't know, but I haven't fully worked through it, and I don't feel fully right about it. Okay. And I've been thinking lately that kind of all of you have to relate to this. Do you ever have somebody in your life that you're like, why would they do that? We kind of make excuses. We reflect back on things or behaviors and we're like, why would they behave that way? Why would they say that to me? Why would they make it? Why would they say it to where I felt ick afterward or cringe or whatever it is? Okay. I spend a lot of time, it does, Sophia. I spend a lot of time going back over things that have happened to me in my life or the people who were in my life that may not be now, like Doug and Jeff. And I think a lot about it lately. And I'm like, why did I put up with, or why did I allow, or why did they do that? And I think that we tend to make excuses for people because I think there is no more asking why anymore. It's two things. I heard something today that I was like, oh my God, how somebody treats you is how they feel about you. End of story. So I'm kind of done with the why would they, why did I dissecting stuff. I do that. I'm a Cancer sign. I'm also a woman. I don't know what it is. I overthink. It could be a trauma response. I really don't care. Couple of things. Behavior is what's true, right? Behavior is what's true. And how somebody treats you is how they feel about you. Now that's important. And this is where I get into the what I was thinking today about Tommy versus Jeff. I was thinking about Tommy versus Jeff. And Jeff, once he found out about my Wendy, once Jeff found out about my Scientology upbringing, the abuse that went on, he did not know about that. I did not give him the story, love you, Wendy, of my life. I already knew. Hey, Sherry Taylor, how I already knew. Hey, Vicki Andrews, that Jeff was not on my side. I knew this because his behavior. I knew this. And he would only make it worse because Fred was on my side. And then Jeff would come along and go, I'm on your side too, just like Fred was. And I'm like, do not, hey, I've got words. I was like, do not use Fred's words. Don't put that into your mouth. You're not on my side. You clearly chose the jesters and all of those things ahead of me. But I was trapped at that point. We were married. And so I was just making it work and going through the motions. But I really think back to how much he was so abusive with, I would say something and he would go, oh, look, it's Little Miss Scientologist. Here comes Little Miss Scientologist who thinks she knows everything. Here comes Little Miss Bullbaiter coming to use her bullbait training on me. Like ugly stuff, hateful, hurtful, like no other way of putting it. And I remember one day I said to him, I had a therapy session. And I went to him after therapy and I waited till like we were chill and he wasn't all defensive and crazy. And I went into the bathroom and I said, hey, I have something I need to say to you. And he was like, okay. And I was waiting for him to be like cool and calm. And I said, I just had therapy and I was talking and it really hurts me and it doesn't help me. It doesn't help my progress in any way that you say I'm using my Scientology or I'm using my bullbait training or I'm being a Scientologist. I've told you guys this before. And I said, I spoke with my therapist about it, and it would really help if you didn't do that because it actually makes me more panicked feeling and like fight or flight, kind of like my nervous system feels jittery when you do that to me. And no pause at all. Jeff goes, oh, absolutely not. He said, I'm your husband and I will point it out to you every time that you're behaving like a Scientologist because you need to know when you're doing it. So I will point that out every time, no matter what your therapist thinks. And I said, yeah, but you're not a doctor. And it's upset. Like it upsets me. Well, hey, Martin, it upsets me. Right. And he was like, well, it doesn't matter. Like what I'm trying to say is that let me give you the alternative. So then I started thinking about Tommy today. And I started thinking about the first few interactions with Tommy and my meeting Tommy. And I was barely knew the guy. And I shared with him the secret I had been I'm sure, Wanda. The secret that I had been carrying around. I shared with Tommy about the jesters in my life, and I barely knew Tommy. But there was something about him. I was sitting there on StreamYard talking to him after one of our first few streams. Reese, on the other side, hey, Diana H., if you care enough to wonder why someone behaves, ask them. Sometimes our perception isn't reality coming from someone who has been on both sides. I disagree with that. Okay, so that goes two ways. Sassy, I totally agree with that. If it's someone that you value and you know that they're behaving in a way where you're not sure. I'm not going to waste my time on meeting somebody where they're at, trying to get them to see where I'm at. Hey, Crafty Carrie. Hey, Kat. When you know what their intentions were and you can feel it. I know how I feel when someone treats me, hey, baby lily pad, with disrespect, Sassy. So I'll give you an example. Like when Jeff said, oh, absolutely not. You need to know when you're doing it. I'm not going to go any further. I know what he's doing. He's minimizing me. He's squashing me. I'm not going to take the time to waste any more my energy on that. That's what I mean by that. So I can see how I can go both ways because I've been on that side of the fence too, where I said something, hey, Mike, and I was like, oh my God, I think I said that. I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean for that to come out that way. Like, I know you can tell the difference, I guess is what I'm getting at. When somebody is like, oh, you're not very educated, are you? I mean, you didn't go to school. So I'm not going to waste my fucking time being like, what did you mean by that? I will waste my time going, was that intended to be hurtful? Because that was kind of hurtful. It felt like that was intended to be. Do you want to restructure your sentence or do you want to get the hell out of here? Like you can tell the difference is what I'm getting at. Jeff had bad intentions. So Tommy my point to this is, and I made a note about it today. Tommy has never once, oh God, me too, Kevin Conklin. Tommy has never once, we've fought, guys, and we all know that we've got a very public dragging out of our relationship. And I'm not here to go over that. Tommy has never once, not one time, made me feel like he's never minimized anything. So I was comparing the two today. And I was thinking about like all the pain that I've shared with Tommy from Scientology. Not once have I not felt like that wasn't safe. I knew I was in trouble with Jeff. I knew he took every piece of my Scientology trauma and he literally was like, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more so I can weaponize this and use it against you. And he did. You know, the second I would try to have any kind of hold on, that's Huxley's therapist. Hey, Huxley, he's ready for you. Okay. Every time I've given Tommy any kind of my trauma, he says, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry. That he's empathetic and he understands. This isn't a show about Tommy. This is more me. This is the point I'm getting at. Tommy has never once, listen, we've had our issues, guys, but he's never once made me feel like I'm going to take this, I'm going to weaponize this, and I'm going to make you pay for that. I'm going to make you feel really bad about it. Never once. He's always said, like, oh my God, like the second I shared the Jester stuff with him, he was like, you're in danger. And he said, I'll help you. I'll help you figure out a plan. So much so that he showed up to Kansas City and got me out of there. And I'm not sure to this day that my life wouldn't have been in danger had he not come, because I was alone. I shipped Huxley off to my parents immediately. I wanted him out of there in case something were to happen to me. I did not want something to happen to my son. So I got him out of there. Yes, Mike. And so the point that I'm making here is I realized something today. It's more, I hate that I do this. I have a bad habit of this. I overthink stuff to the point. Did Huxley have a hard time leaving you, or did he understand? Oh God, he understood. And Jeff, the last thing Jeff said to Huxley before I took him to the airport was, Jeff said, get the fuck out of my house. I'm going to knock your fucking block off. Huxley was 13, 14. So Huxley was, we had to get him out of there. I had to get him out of there. So the point that I'm trying to make here is I have this really bad habit of overthinking people's behavior and what I view, and then I make excuses. And I start breaking it down and I start going, well, here's the thing. They have 4 kids. Here's the thing. She works 2 jobs. Here's the thing. You know, I think that it was a stressful situation. I have to stop doing that. And here's the thing that I really think is how I'm going to start looking at things. You're either contributing to somebody's abuse or you are not. You are either contributing to abuse or you're not. You know damn well what you say when you're saying it to someone, and you know your intention behind it. And the person knows it too, and they feel it, because people aren't stupid. And so I think I'm just more clear cut these days about, and this could be bad because it kind of makes me think of Scientology. I feel way more like I will cut ties with anyone. Reese, you have helped me talk about those things I cannot talk about with anyone but God. It's a two-way street, love. Hey, Stacey Toms. Thank you, babe. And I know that. I'm just telling you, in comparison, in my mind, I've got Jeff and I've got Tommy from my recent history with men. Huxley, are you on? Oh, he's on. Okay, I can hear him. And the difference is unbelievable. I don't always see eye to eye with Tommy. It isn't perfection by any means, and I really wouldn't want it to be. I think it's weird when people are like, "We've never had a fight." That's probably going to bubble over at some point if you've never had a fight. Now, I think that what I've learned in the last 6 to 9 months is that fighting is totally okay as long as it remains respectful. And to me, the most important thing when it comes to relationships, I've learned for me right now, I'll probably feel differently in a year or two. Right now, any relationship with your boss, your mom, your significant other, your best friend, how do you deal with conflict resolution? How do you fight? How do you resolve conflict? That's all I'm interested in. That's all I'm interested in. If you're going to cut the other person down and tell them, oh, look, it's little Miss Scientologist. If you're going to call me stupid, if you're going to tell me my thoughts are not in reality, you don't get my time of day. You don't get access to me. I wish sometimes I could go back in time with Jeff or Doug and give them the real me, because I would have not put up with that shit for a second. The second Jeff said to me, your thoughts are not within reality, and that's okay. You just have no common sense. I would have absolutely reared up and said, and you no longer get access to me. You are not going to punch me around and minimize me as a human being and make me feel like a piece of shit. And I know those are your intentions. I know what you're doing. You're not even good at gaslighting. You're really actually quite bad at this. I feel it. You feel it. You're making it known, and I'm out of here, right? Like, I will not allow anyone to treat me that way ever again. And the second I start to feel it, I'm gone. I won't be around that ever again. It's incredibly toxic. So the words protect your peace mean now more to me than ever. I'm sure someone said to me 5 years ago when I was with Jeff, you got to protect your peace. And I was probably like, yeah, when the student's ready, the teacher's going to appear there, because it wasn't for me. I had no peace. I hadn't even tasted peace. Not looking for any sympathy, but I know you understand why I do not date after being married to that for 36 years. Wanda was married to Jeff for 36 years. I absolutely understand that. Simply put, Jeff was not a Reese fan. I am and will always be your biggest fan. I must get to work. I'm glad I stayed, not just to look at you. Thank you, babe. Love you. That was very sweet. Jeff wasn't a fan probably of it. Jeff's a tough one, and I don't really try to think about him anymore because he had such a close, uncomfortable, in my opinion, relationship with his mother. And they were super, super close. So I'm not a doctor and I'm not a therapist, and I don't know enough to understand why Jeff disrespected women so much when he held his mother so high and she held him so high. And for me, it was a creepy, very uncomfortable thing to watch over the years I was with him. I could see a man being disrespectful and hateful toward women if you hate your mother, but they were very, very close, a little uncomfortably close for my taste. And there's no reason to go back and try to figure that out. The point is, never one time has Tommy ever made me feel like he's never used any of my trauma against me. Never. And again, we have our differences. I don't always agree with him. We do butt heads. But never once has Tommy been like, well, you're stupid because you didn't go to school. I mean, literally, Jeff said those things to me. Tommy's never even implied that. Absolutely, Wanda. Disagree is fine, but knowing that you never want to hurt me no matter what the disagreement is about gives me a peace. I didn't have the first time around. I love you. Talk to you later. Well, I agree. I agree with this. I think disagreeing is fine, but I think it really is important in a relationship to know no matter what, we're on the same team. We're on the same team. We're on the same side. So it's never going to be a matter of, Jeff would literally say to me, if you don't obey me, you will be punished. terrifying. I don't care if that's your husband, your boss. I don't give a shit who it is. That's a terrifying thing to say. It takes away freedom that you're just entitled to as a human being. If you don't obey, you will be punished. I heard those words all the time. And he did punish. He absolutely did punish. Hey, Mimi. But I think what this boils down to, and what I'm trying to say is I thought of it in a more simple term today, just very simplified. This is very simple to me these days. It's all about control, Joanne Hawley, but this is even more like, I don't care if this is a sibling. I don't care if this is a stranger that you're just meeting. You're either contributing to abuse or you're not. And so if you're saying mean things, Rachel, if you're belittling a person, if you're minimizing their trauma, if you're trying to make someone feel bad, if you're trying to make them feel uncomfortable, if you are weaponizing their past, if you are aware of some abuse they had by a father, a mother, somebody, a sibling, I don't care if they were 2 years old or 25 years old, if you're using any of that, you're contributing to the cycle of abuse. You're taking advantage of someone and you are literally contributing to abuse. It's so much more simple for me to look at it that way. You are, making them feel worthless, Joanne Hawley. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't even want to say put a 1 in the chat right now if you know someone like that. We all do. You may not know them now in present time, but you might have known them in the past. You might have finally cut ties with them. You might have, someone who loves you won't weaponize what they know about you when you argue or disagree. Debbie A, 100%. It is not that effing hard to just be a good person. And it's also not that hard to be a complete asshole. You get to choose that behavior. But the point is, too, behavior is what's true, everybody. And I have this really bad habit of making excuses for people that I know who have bad behavior. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of making excuses for people and being like, well, their marriage is struggling. Well, they have a lot of kids. Well, her son is struggling, right? I don't give a shit. That is not an excuse to bleed on somebody that didn't cut you. It's not an excuse. Hey, Kay Thompson. Good for you, Kay. I'm happy to hear that. We know how we feel when we deal with other people. And if you make me feel like shit, that's the last time you'll get to do it. Because you're contributing to abuse. You're contributing to somebody's trauma. And I'm not saying you have to help people. Maybe you don't want to do that either. But I can't still wrap my mind around like jealousy and wanting to see people fail and getting off on people's faults. I'm not asking people to like really be a good person, but like, can't you just be a neutral person at least? Like, I don't understand why people make such an effort. And here's the other thing that's part of this stream I wanted to talk about. Mike says that's how I was treated as a kid. I think that's why I'm an overachiever, so I can prove people wrong. Oh my God, Mike, I totally relate to that. Hey, Stella, I totally relate to that. I think that I am very much an overachiever as well for that reason. And I'm sorry for what you went through. Hey, Linda Perales. The other thing I think I was lied to, it was by design. First of all, that's by design. I'm kind of done making excuses. I know how I feel, and I'm not stupid. Like, I know how I feel when you speak to me, when you send me a passive aggressive email, when you text me something shitty, when you ignore me or don't ask how I'm doing or like, I know how I feel, and I'm just going to go with that from now on. um, because it's by design. What you're doing is by design. And this isn't for anyone. This is for what I was thinking about with the Jeff thing. I have let so many people cross boundaries, and boundaries are just clarity. That's all boundaries are. And all my life, I feel like I haven't even known what a boundary is. But I also, now that I start to think and learn about boundaries, I'm like, thank you for being here, Wanda. Now that I'm trying to learn more about boundaries, because I've never used them in my life, I've been trained not to use them. All boundaries, I used to think like, oh, they're a bad thing. I used to think of them as like roadblocks, like putting walls up. They're not, they're just clarity. Boundaries are simply, thank you, Jill Turner. Boundaries, well, yeah, they're simply our own self creating rules to keep us safe. Teresa's right. But I also like to think of boundaries as clarity, right? I know what my boundaries are for the most part. I mean, I'm trying to come up with them as I go along in life. But if you tell me what your boundaries are, then I'm just clear. That's all. And if I cross them, there's consequences to that. And you will draw those up. Thank you. Stella says, you know your worth, Reese. Thank you, Stella. Yeah. But to me, also, I like to think of boundaries as a very positive thing because I used to think of them as negative. They're not, they're clarity. Boundaries are clarity. That's all they are. Then I know the guidelines between you and me. If you don't set them up, how is someone supposed to know what they are? Right? Thank you, Kim. But the other thing that I want to mention here that kind of ties in with this, and I don't know why it ties in with this, but it does for me. And I guess what it totally ties in. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know why these two things came up for me today. Ever since we started talking about Doug, so many things have been coming unglued for me mentally. And it's good and it's bad. It's good and it's bad because I've been overwhelmed with it, to be honest. I'm not sleeping well. And I think that has a lot to do with it. And I'm worried about some things internally. And I'm fighting it. I'm dealing with it. It's just been a lot to process at once. I love processing things. I love when things come at me lately and I'm like, let me figure that out about myself. It just feels like there's a lot of it on me lately, like a lot weighing me down. And I'm like, I can't figure this all out at once. Thank you, Jill Turner. Boundaries serve as a respect for self and others. Yes, truth seeker. Yes, Mike. That's a great point. Mike says we got to use that stuff to motivate us. He's right. So, this is something I learned in Scientology. And I don't know if I've ever shared this with you guys. Yes, Angel, mental overload. I was taught in Scientology, and I learned this in a session. So I'm not entirely sure that we could say other Scientologists learned this. And it doesn't matter if they did, because I don't like to speak for other Scientologists. I say this all the time. I speak for what happened in my experience. I don't ever like to say Scientologists do this, Scientologists learned that. There are some absolutes to that, like about Dianetics, the ARC triangle. We can all speak for ourselves there. I'm not going to speak for other ex Scientologists, though, pretty much across the boards. I don't know what that was. I learned in an auditing session once. Exactly, Stella. I learned my auditor, I had a cognition in a session once with my auditor, Michael. His name was Michael. This was not my first husband, of course, different Michael. Thank you, Kay Thompson. This is from Lady Co in Kansas City. It's like her most popular sweater. It's got like a bell sleeve and it's like 3/4 length, which is not my favorite. I do not buy 3/4 length sleeves. I only bought this because it was such a popular sweater and I worked there at the time and I got my employee discount. But it is a sweater. It's pretty thick, and I'm sure she still sells them because she sells them every year, and it's like her most popular sweater. It's crazy. Runs big. I think this is a small or a medium. I would go down from your normal size. I learned from a session that sorry guys, I hear Seamus and I can't tell if he's outside. he's crying, but I can't tell if he's like outside or in the house. And Huxley's in his session, but it's not raining. Okay. This is important because this is a huge, I need to deprogram from this. This is a huge, hey, Marissa Martin, in Scientology, this would be called a stable datum. A stable datum is something, Shelley, a stable datum is something where you would say, it's something we can all agree on, like a life fact. Like, when I get at least 8 hours of sleep, I'm in much better shape mentally. That's a stable datum for you. When I eat 50 grams of protein a day, I'm regular and like I feel more alert. That's a stable datum. When we go to bed angry, we're always going to fight. That's a stable datum. You get the point. A stable datum for me in Scientology, I learned this early on in an auditing session, and I've always stuck with it, even to this day. If it takes too much effort, quit. Nothing should take a lot of effort. I know that's crazy. I know that sounds nuts. But even up till 8 hours ago, I still lived on that stable datum. If it takes a lot of effort, it's not for you. As a matter of fact, in Scientology, I used the word efforty. If it's too efforty, don't do it. If it's not a fit, it's not a fit. If it takes too much effort is different, though, to me, than if it's not a fit, it's not a fit. What kind of bullshit is that? Of course things take effort. And all this time I've been going, well, if it takes effort, it's not for me. Yeah, Mike, parenting takes some real effing effort these days for me. Okay. I got a 16-year-old. Hey, Ty Mark, he takes effort. Okay. It takes work. Everything takes effort, as it should. And so I find myself thinking about this today, like, I can see why I thought that was the case. And now I'm going back to my relationship with Jeff. That took effort. I had to fight him all the time to keep him off of me, to stop attacking me, to stop making me feel small, to stop saying, well, you're just a dumb Scientologist. Oh, here comes little Miss Scientologist and her thoughts on that. And oh, here comes our little bull baiter. Like, that took it was draining. But to me, effort doesn't mean draining either. This channel takes effort. This takes a lot of effort to be a content creator and create content that's not just like, hey, let's go watch a court case and then talk about our thoughts on it. That takes effort too. But I am sometimes like so laser focused on what we're talking about, like I am tonight. This takes a lot of mental effort for me. I love it. It's my favorite thing in this world. This channel means everything to me. It's my go-to. It's my favorite thing. So I think there's different kinds of effort too. I would look at the marriage to Jeff and go, this is taking way too much effort. Now, Holly Day just said marriage takes effort. Of course. And if it doesn't, I don't know what kind of marriage you got going on. Parenting takes real effort. More these days than it ever has. Raising a teenager alone as a single parent takes serious effort. So that was a stable datum for me. If it takes effort or too much effort, get rid of it. Cut it out of your life. That's really awful advice. It just is. I guess what's the alternative? Is everything supposed to be effortless? Are we effortless? Should things be effortless? No. Things are going to be hard. A lot of things take work and it's hard and it pays off and it's worth it and things like that. It's just very strange. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Sophia says effort doesn't mean you feel mentally drained all the time. And Wendy says, so is there such a thing as something that is toxic effort? God, yes, girl. I think so. And I think that's such a good question, Wendy, because oh, yeah, the worst alternative is to shut down, Holly. Yes, we've all done that probably too. I know I have. And Shelly says, you learn what deserves effort. That's a good point too. What you're willing to put the work into. I agree. Like Jeff didn't deserve effort. It was a literally a loop. Every day, it was an effing loop of just survival mode with that man. So I think we have to that's a great point. And see, this is in real time. I didn't even you're adding to it and working through this with me. I saw a t-shirt that said, I love being me. It passes all of the right people. Interesting. I always look to see if the other person is also putting in the same amount of work that I am. Teresa, yes. And Kay says, effort shouldn't be draining. Even exercise effort can be exhausting, but not draining. I see the difference. Yes, Kay, exactly. But I like what Wendy asked here. Is there like toxic effort? Do we ever learn that? Has anybody ever talked about this? I have a question, Mike says. Scientology is basically lying to themselves because they want you to put effort into Scientology. Oh, totally, Mike. Yeah, I would say that's very true. We all know Scientology, though, is just a giant human mental manipulative trap, right? To make you insane, basically. Yes, Shelly, I agree with that. I call that banging your head against a brick wall. Then you keep trying and nothing changes. Totally, Kat. Good for you, Buffy. But I think this is an important question for Wendy here. Yes. And I think it's hard sometimes to probably sort out, are you involved in a toxic effort situation? Because let's face it, some things are hard that take a lot of effort, but it's worth it and it pays off in the end and things like that, where it may feel toxic while you're going through it. I'm not sure the answer to that, but I really like you asking that. Hey, Time Mark, if you have to mental prepare yourself to deal with something or talk to someone that could be toxic, that's a great example of it. Does anybody else have a good example of it? Because I feel like I'm working through this in real time. I can see where that would be a hard habit to break, keeps things easier, but easy isn't the answer. Yes, Debbie, but this is true. I have to blow my nose. Hang on, guys. Hang on. I'm going to mute it. If I like Timeark, what Timeark had to say here. If you have to, that's a great example, Timeark, quite honestly. See, I'm trying, Timeark just simplified this more for me. And I'm really into simplifying lately because I waste so much time and it's nobody's fault but mine. Overthinking shit to the point till I'm up till 3 in the morning and I'm like on a loop and I can't stop myself. And I'm like, it looks like by the end, it's like one of those boards where you're like drawing like I feel like I'm like, but they're a good person, but they did this, but they have a lot going on, but it's the holidays. No, I'm sorry. Take a step back. You're either contributing to abuse or you're not. I'm sorry. That's how I see things. If you say something that's backhanded at me or passive aggressive, I'm done being like, well, she's been really busy and she's got a health scare or whatever it is. I don't care anymore. I don't like it. I don't like the way those kinds of people make me feel. And I'm kind of sick of making excuses for them. You know what you said, and you know how I received it. And better and more importantly, I know how I received it. It's such a good point, Mike. Yeah, Wendy, you get it. It's like having that friend that you had for 20 years and you realize you guys are in different places in life. Yes, like you've just outgrown each other. That's the thing that's scary too, is people that you've known your whole life could turn toxic. I mean, how is that not something, right? Like I'm growing, I'm getting better. I'm learning more about me. I'm learning more about people and friendships and what I value and taking accountability for things I've done. That's growth. people do the opposite of that too, They can get worse and decline and be more ugly to people and create drama and issues or whatever it is, right? Stir the pot type of people. They can grow for the worse. They can decline for the worse. So you really have to pay attention to that. And my solution is, do I just talk to less people privately, like on a deep level in my life? I talk to a lot of people. I don't mind talking to people. Hey, Natalie, but do I pull away from like relationships? Because that's kind of where I'm at. That Colton, your father trained you to be an overachiever, but now you're out. Those skills are precious. You're soaring in the right direction. So inspirational, honestly. Thank you so much. Jill Turner, I'm really glad you're here. I don't always get to see you. Thank you for saying that. Being honest with our mistakes gives yourself freedom as well. There's freedom. Oh my God, Nancy. Nothing feels better to me than taking accountability, whether it be me or having someone with you go, hey, I'm really sorry. Like I get moved by people who do it. Bo Beats said on Colton Crims the other night, she was not a Tommy fan. And she said, Joanne Hawley did the same thing. I love people. I feel so close to people who just own their shit and they do it beautifully. Like Bo Beats was like, hey, Tommy, I'm sorry that I really kind of whatever she said. And she was like, and I'm giving you a second chance. I'm sorry that I treated you that way. I've seen people say, I was in a shitty place. I'm sorry I treated you that way. I was not well. I'm sorry I said that. We're all going to make mistakes. All of us, every one of us are going to F up pretty regularly at some point in our lives. I'm interested in those people because those are the people who F up and then come back around and go, hey, that was stupid of me. I feel so good when I say that, when I can look somebody in the eye or I can send a message or an email or whatever it is and say, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. I'm really sorry that I did that. That was me, not you. I was in a bad place, right? Like I just love it when people can just go, hey, my behavior is inexcusable. That's okay, guys. That's perfectly okay. People are welcome all around my life and in this chat. You could leave here and go, Reese is a piece of shit all over the place, but then come back and go, I wish I hadn't done that. I feel stupid. I'm back. I don't care. I don't hold grudges. I'm not that kind of person. I'm like, I applaud you for making mistakes just like everybody else and just owning it. That is something to be said. I love that. Nancy, it is such a good feeling. I cannot imagine like Jeff being like, oh, I didn't do it. It's not my fault. I don't care. It's your problem. Just like all the accountability goes back on the other person. They're right all the time. Right. I can't stand those types of personalities. It's like, if you only knew how good it feels to be wrong, it feels good to go, I was wrong. I was really wrong. I don't even need to give an excuse. Like, I don't even need to be like, I was in a bad place. I was going through this. That's fine. You can say it. But like, I just think it's a beautiful thing to go, hey, I was really wrong in my behavior. It's so weird to me when people are like, I'm not wrong. It's not me. Wasn't me. Let's look over there. Let's blame that person. It's so weird. Time Mark, another example. If you leave a conversation with more questions and confusion than actually solving something, it's toxic. Oh my God, Time Mark's hitting it tonight. He is outside. Guys, do you care if I let Seamus in? I feel bad. It's cold out. Let me just let him in really fast. Hold on. Bubsy. Bubby was outside. Look at Bubby. Oh, poor Bubsy. Were you chilly? You hate your mom. You don't even let me hold you. Were you cold, Bubsy? All right. Well, we'll see you later. Thanks for letting me do that. This is so good. This is so good. This is so good because it also narrows it down. Shamesy. I call him Shamey. Oh my God, he's laying all over Bo. He thinks Bo is his father. We don't tell him. We don't tell him. Is that your dad? I think this, yeah, I call him Bubsy. Him's a pretty special. Him's a not very smart, but everybody else is pretty smart. He's a different kind of learner, and that's okay. Marissa Martin. This is magic to me, Time Mark. Guys, please follow this right here. If you leave a conversation, I like Bobsy. Oh, Bobsy. Hi, Bobsy. Oh, him's a really special. Him's a special boy. Who would have known that Seamus is going to be the largest cat in the house? He is enormous. Seamus is so big. Hi, you're letting me hold you. Are you glad that you got to come in? Were you chilly? Oh, Bubsy, where's your brother? Oh my God, Seamus is so cute, but he is huge. Look at how big he is. He is enormous. Him's a big kid. Do you need to go out and go eat? See you later. I think this is so important. Oh man, dang. I think this is so important. If you, like Time Mark said earlier, though, guys, pay attention to this real quick. If you have to mentally prepare for something with someone because you know how they're going to act or how they are, and it makes you uncomfortable, that's toxic. No need to make excuses for it. It is. And if you leave a conversation confused and uncomfortable, same. It just is. I don't know if I'm in this like era right now of not wanting to be around people. If you make me feel uncomfortable, I'm done. Damn, he really shed all over this sweater. Abigail, if we claim we have no sin, we're only fooling ourselves and not living in the truth. Yes. It's weird when people are like, wasn't me. What? Like, I want to be around people who make mistakes, who've screwed other people over, but then they learn from that. They come back and value what's more important in life. I like people like that. I don't want a bunch of perfect ass people who think they're perfect around me. If we claim we have not sinned, we are calling God a liar and showing that his word has no place in our hearts. New Testament. Interesting. That's a good one, Abigail. That's very fitting. That's very fitting. And thank you very much for that super chat. That's very kind. My lifelong group of 5 best friends is now 4 for this exact reason. I'm sorry, Debbie. As we grew, matured, etc., one just went backward. It was hard and sad, but was the healthiest for us. So much investment, but worth the peace. Yes, Kevin, exactly. Debbie, I want to say I'm sorry, but at the same time, you accepted it. You learned from it. Guys, that's the sucky thing too, is the people that we count on or rely on, like our friends, like Debbie's group of people do change for the worse too. It happens. And you can't do anything about that. You can't fix people. That's the other hard part that you have to accept. You can't fix people. Interesting, Sierra Terry. Orange cats do get very large. Yeah, they do. We had one before him a long time ago. They do get big. I just thought he was the runt of the litter. I really didn't expect him to grow. He was the smallest one. And then like overnight, he was all of a sudden huge. You can't make someone understand you that's intent on misunderstanding you because they can't face an issue. Totally. And Buffy, you say I have no friends a lot. I'm going to assume that's by choice. Like, I'm going to assume it's like something that you're happy about, or like if you want friends, I'm seeking friends. Hey, Meredith Lynn, friends will happen organically. I'm hopeful that I will eventually have like a strong, like Debbie said, I would like to have a strong group of female friends. And I still feel like I do. Like Alana. Alana is a very strong female friend of mine. Meredith Lynn, Abigail, Armine, Debbie. Like there's a lot of people in here who I consider that. But we don't talk. like on a regular basis, and everybody's busy. By the way, Debbie, I know I owe you a phone call. I can't believe it's already Wednesday. I haven't forgotten though. I just want you to know that. And you can't save people who don't want to be saved. People who can't own their shit and just take responsibility to try and be better are really hard to live with. No one is without fault. Why can't people see and accept that more? I don't get that part, Alana. Like, totally, Wendy. And thank you for saying that. Wow, thank you, Jam Jam. I don't get people who are, they call them like right fighters. Hey, Heather Carr. Not that easy. I have a social disability and it's very hard to make friends. Well, Heather Carr, I'm not saying it's easy. For me, I'm saying it will happen organically when it's supposed to happen, but you have to be open to it too. I haven't really been open to it my whole life, and now I'm more open to it. I feel hopeful that I will meet. Here's the other thing. Who was I talking? Oh, I was talking with Shelly about this the other day. Shelly and her husband. A friend, the definition of a friend is very subjective. What you might think is a friend, another person might think is an associate, a coworker, someone that, I can't think of the word for it, but like some people might really think like, oh, we're really good friends. And the other person might not think that. So that's the other thing about friendships too, that I'm learning is like, there's different probably stages of friendship. I think that you're lucky to have maybe two really, really, really close friends that know every acquaintance. Thank you, Angie Mo, that know everything about you, that you could call anytime, any place. They'd always be there. How often does that person come along anyway? Good Lord, Seamus. I got to order some hair rollers, those things, sticky things. This is home for me and Tommy's. I feel like you are my people. Wendy, I totally feel the same way about you. I really mean that. Like there are so many of you that engage with me in these chats. Like you really keep track of what I'm saying. And we have a full conversation by you chatting with me through these streams. And you are one of them, Wendy. I just really enjoy you being here. So I want to say that. Some people are really entitled and think their poop doesn't smell. I don't get it either. It's just, what's wrong with being proud of like making those mistakes? Like what, who taught people that like you should be without fault? You are not a sinner. You are right all the time. Like who came along and told you that that's the way to be? There's beauty in being at fault. There is absolute beauty to me in someone saying, hey, I was wrong about that. And I'm sorry I was wrong. I'm sorry I made you feel that. There's like so much that speaks to your character when you just own things and accept them. I don't get people who are like, wasn't me. It was that part. Like, why? Why are you fighting so hard to not be at fault? What's wrong with being at fault? There's nothing wrong with it. I've made my two besties a priority in my life. I know you've talked about one of them, Teresa. It's hard. It's not hard work, but it's a conscious effort, and it really paid off for the last 10 years. It's been slow, steady. It feels genuine and loyal. That is has to be such an amazing feeling. I look forward to that. I like the slow burn in a friendship. Give it time to get close and comfortable. Yes, I agree with that. It will. That's what I mean. It will organically occur if it needs to. That's pretty much how I feel about everything these days. If I'm going to go to Ecuador, it will happen. It will organically take place. I want to go. I'm planning to go. I have a goal to go, but I don't have any way of going right now. So if it's meant to happen, it will. I'm not saying that's a slippery slope, because I'm not saying like I don't have to put in any effort into it. It'll fall out of the sky if it's meant to be. No, I don't mean that. But hey, Roll Tide, I think it's hard for some people to accept certain parts of themselves. So if they try to not address it, it will go away. That's a great point. But life doesn't work like that. Roll Tide, that's a really good point. And some people equate admitting fault to weakness. Yes. Yeah, what will be, Pat Jonas. I'm going to put the effort in to moving and making that happen. It's not, I'm not one of those people who's like, if it's meant to be, it will just happen magically. No, no, no. You have to set goals and you have to put the work in. But like, if it doesn't happen and like life happens too much and I can't go, then it probably wasn't meant to happen. And that's how I feel about friendships lately. I'm not forcing things. Reese, you sound very realistic and hopeful, but not living in a blind fantasy. Thank you, Teresa. The pieces, yeah, Stacey Toms, will fall into place if you're meant to go. That's how I feel about, I really would like to have some female strong friendships. Some strong females that I can rely on and they can rely on me, and we grow together in a friendship. I really crave that. But I have learned over the last year and a half, if I force it, no good comes from that. I've lost a few friendships of like women that I really, really loved and appreciated, but those friendships didn't happen organically and they broke apart horribly. Like they really said some hateful, hateful things to me on the way out. And so I'm just more guarding of myself. God isn't going to give you peace in a place he doesn't want you to settle in. That's beautiful. That's really good. I love that. What is wrong with weakness? It's impossible to be strong at everything, and weak areas are just areas where you can grow, and growth is good. I'm totally behind this 100%. I can't answer that for you, Alana, because I feel the same way. I have no problem going live and making mistakes while talking. I have no problem like real things happening in real time and being like, whoops, we'll learn from that. Like mistakes are going to happen. That's called life. I don't understand people who like have to be perfectionists and like, I didn't do it and I'm not wrong and you're wrong and that's on you and it's your problem. It's so weird. And to be honest, I don't give a shit because those are not people I will allow access to me. I don't want to be around people who are right and you're wrong and here's why you shouldn't have voted for this person and here's why you shouldn't believe in that God and here's why, like, F off. I'm not interested in people like that. It's a defense mechanism. I like that, Roll Tide. This is what I'm doing with my ex. We're talking about things, and if it's meant to be, we'll be able to work it out. By the way, I hope you went to dinner and stuff. I'll have to hear about that. I also feel like people in romantic relationships have to be careful who they are friends with. Very accurate. Very true, Time Mark. You're really on the ball tonight. I would love to be your friend, Reese. I feel like you understand me. Most people don't. However, I'm happy being a part of your community, even if Buffy, I feel like you're a friend. I love having you here. I love it now that you speak in the chats and you speak your mind, and I really love getting to know you. So yes to all of that, girl. Teresa says, Reese, you working so seriously on neediness and romance will seriously pay off in your friendships in the future. You get it now that not one person can fulfill all your emotional needs. Yes. Thank you for saying that. I am the opposite. It's almost too much, Teresa, but it's in a good way. I am so like, I'm here and you're here and we're both our own people and we're both going to stay strong and like not lean too much on the other, or like I'm not going to fall to the ground when you're standing because I feel inadequate or insecure, whatever it is. I am my own person. I will support myself, my son, and my animals financially on my own. I don't like people who are like, I don't need a man, or I don't need friends. Okay, well, then you won't have them. That's a choice. Again, that's a choice. I don't mean it like that. But what I do mean is I have leaned on every man I've ever had, right? Like, I can't live without you. Oh, I can't survive. Oh, I need you. Oh, I need financial help. No. I tell myself no all the time now. I'm going to do it. I will rely on me and I will be self sufficient. Huxley doesn't need another example of me crumbling and falling apart because I just can't do it. And I have to have a plus one in order. I have one because I choose to have a plus one, but I very much feel like not financially so much. I mean, definitely financially, but I'm talking about inside here, not things, not rent, not bills, not any of those things. In here is where I have to support myself. I have to be stable in here for me. And what I mean by that specifically is I no longer reach externally for validation from anyone. And I don't care if it's Tommy or if it's 16 people or a panel of people. I used to do it all the time. I had a horrible habit of being like, before I make a decision, I have to ask you, and you, and then I'll make a decision based on what you tell me you think. Fuck that. And it's the same thing on reaching for masculine attention. I had a bad habit of being like, I need to be needed. I need to be wanted. Please need me, want me. I still feel that way. I like to be needed. I like to be wanted. I'm a sexual being, all of those things. But I'm aware of it. And I can also tell when I'm overdoing it and I need to reel myself back in and check in with me. I am my own person now. I need to rely on me just as much in the outside world financially and pay my own bills. I need to rely on me in here and be mentally stable. And not, my worth doesn't depend on what anybody else thinks about me. And that's the biggest thing I've learned this year. I had the worst effing habit of all time, basing my worth on what this stranger thinks about me, or my mom, or my stepdad, or this prestigious entity, or Jeff. Nobody's outside thoughts about me get in here. Just because you don't see my fucking worth is not my problem. It's got nothing to do with me. Now, I don't fully see my worth either. Don't get me wrong. I'm getting there. I'm better at it. But I tear myself down still. But I'm so much better at not looking to the left or right of me. Not going, well, what do you think? Well, do you care if I do? Well, do you mind? Or am I taking up too much space? Am I too loud for you? Am I too much? Am I too little? Fuck off. I love being in my 40s because, or being out of Scientology or whatever it is, being divorced from Jeff. I don't know what kicked this off. But nothing makes me happier than when a total stranger of a hater tries to kick me off by making videos like I'm going to go watch them, like I'm going to give a shit. Quite honestly, I don't even care what my own family thinks of me. You're not going to get some stranger on the internet to get me to go be interested in their thoughts, views, opinions, and take on me. I don't care what you think. I really don't. I'm too busy trying to heal in here. I have to strengthen this so that I can fully rely on me. Because as much as I love Tommy, as much as I love Huxley, as much as I love my animals, they're not going to be with me for the end of time. Everything comes to an end. And I'm not trying to sound depressing, but the only thing that will be with me in the end is me. The only people I'm trying to impress are my 7-year-old self and my 90-year-old self. Tommy's great. Huxley's great. My animals are great, but they're an extension and they matter very much to me. But at the same time, I feel like I have to matter more. Tommy said something to me recently. Someone told him this and it really, really, really lit a fire. You can only love you. Wait. That wasn't it. Somebody else can only love you as much as you love you. If you don't love you very much, are you going to attract people that love the shit out of you unconditionally? If you don't really care about you, if you don't love you, if you tear yourself down all day, what kind of relationships are you going to attract? I would guess unhealthy ones. Hey, babe, here it is. No one will love you more than you love yourself. I love that. That speaks volumes to me. Yes, I am my priority. And I would say, I don't know how long Tommy's been in here, but everything I just said, I would say if he went back and watched, he would appreciate because it only makes me a stronger woman to be a partner to him. And it makes me be able to sort through stuff so much. If I love me and I'm good with me, then what kind of a partner am I going to be to my partner? If I'm not this needy, sappy little, I need approval, I need attention, I need validation all day. No, I'm strong in myself. I'm at peace with myself. That's a hell of a partner to attract. That's how I feel. Not everyone is in your corner. Some secretly get happy with your unhappiness. We have to be careful with who is genuine and who is not. And that goes back to that's why friendships matter, Wendy, because you have to know the difference. And I don't know the difference right now. I'm working on it. You need to know the difference between who is in your corner and who is in your business. And you all need to know that. And I'm not great at it. This is why I've taken a friendship break because I feel like a former alcoholic. I can't be around alcohol because I can't trust myself. I can't have friendships too deep right now because I don't know the difference between who's in my corner and who's in my business. And I need to get real good at knowing the difference before I let somebody have full access to me. Right? Your worth is not based on who is standing next to you. Preach, Reese. Yes, the way I see it. My man is in my life because I want him, not because I need him. Women have to stay on their own feet. No question. Hold on, I have to blow my nose. Yeah, I would much rather be with someone because they chose me, not because they need me. It's amazing how fast you learn these concepts. You're an inspiration. Thank you, Lisa Kelson. What I do is I just listen to things that are inspirational for me. And then I either adopt them or I don't. They either make sense to me and I'm like, I want to apply that to me or I don't. And if it does speak to me, then I really, really take it seriously. And I'm like, this is something new I want to share with my community. But it's usually not my own thoughts. It's usually something I heard and then I make it my own and I apply it to however I'm going to apply it. Is that the first time you heard what, Time Mark? Angie Mo, I had a doctor degrade me this morning. It was humiliating. I ruminated on it all day and felt terrible. I obviously have work to do soaking this up. We've all been there. And don't get me wrong, somebody could probably easily knock me off my game right now. I'm not always strong. As a matter of fact, I've been kind of weak lately. And I'm sorry that happened to you, Angie. Thank you for being a member, but it is a them problem. And people are weak as shit who need to do that. They're not successful. You have to remember that because I remember that for my haters. Haters are not winning in life. If they have to be ugly to another person to feel better, to get clicks and views, they're fucking losers. They're the definition of a loser. I'm not just like, you're a loser. I mean, they're truly losing in life. They're not winning. So that doctor is the same way, in my opinion. I don't give a shit if you're a doctor, a physicist, or a janitor, or whatever you are. It's your character. If you have to tear somebody down to feel better, you're an absolute loser. And your opinion of me doesn't make a difference. It doesn't impinge. It's not going to sink in. Nobody's going to drill holes in the back of my boat. You're not going to sit with me in my boat and drill holes in it. Nobody's going to do that. That's why I don't think you should let people have so much access. Joanne, I have a couple good friends here. We don't spend a lot of time together. I do my thing, they do theirs, and sometimes we get together. But if either of us need help or just to lean on, we're there for each other. See, that's a great definition of a friend. And friendships are subjective. I think, what is a friend to you? Like a ride or die situation? Probably. Friendships are very new to me and I'm taking it on a light. Like, I love this. Honestly, Joanne, that's the kind of friend I would want. Thank you for your super chat and telling us that. I don't want a friend that's super needy that has to talk to me on the phone every day. I don't have time for it. And I really don't want that. I like the idea of someone who, like, maybe we catch up once a month to start. We get to know each other slowly. I also am the opposite, total opposite of what I used to be. I would dump everything onto a person. If one person a year ago was like, "Hey, we should be friends," I'd be like, "Where do I start? Oh my God, I have a best friend." Like, I was like that annoying girlfriend that has a crush. And you're like, I was like the girl in Wedding Crashers. It was like, "Don't ever leave me or I'd find you." Like that. Now I'm the opposite of that. I'm like, don't overshare. Like, don't give too much. That is insane if you know me and you guys know me. As an ex Scientologist who had absolutely no boundaries, that's insane for me to say. Don't overshare. I never talked like that. I finally learned from it. I flew too close to the sun enough times. Teresa says, "Reese, you are so much stronger today than you were this last year. Now you are applying theories to your own life that you were just hearing in the past. Your body is really listening." That is huge. Thank you for saying that. I would totally agree. It's not every day, though. It's not every day. I just feel it today, but I'm not this. What Tommy said about loving yourself, Tommy said that to me a few weeks ago, and it really stuck with me. I liked it a lot. I thought that was really true. You've grown a lifetime in the time span of the last 2 or 3 years. It has been 3 or 2 since you left. This coming New Year's Eve will be 3 years since I was outed by Scientology, by Aaron. I've had my channel 2.5 years. Been on YouTube 2.5. But this coming New Year's Eve will be the 3-year mark since I left Scientology. But I wasn't on YouTube yet. That really hit me, that no one will love me more than I love me. I need to work on this and maybe reframe what I need to do for myself. I do it for my kid. Why not me? Yes. And it's so accurate. If you don't value you very much, if you tear yourself down, if you think you're a piece of shit, why would you expect someone to love you like at a 10 if you don't? Why would you expect others to see all the value in you if you don't? I have a drinking problem that has made it really hard to manage relationships. Roll Tide, thank you for sharing that here. I appreciate you sharing that. And I can totally imagine what that's like. I've never had a drinking problem, but I can imagine that would be hard. That would be very, very hard. It's okay, Buffy. I have a lot of work to do. You know what? Admitting that is really makes me like you. That's just what I was talking about. I love people who admit to their faults and see that they have stuff they need to work on. That's the best we can do. It's the best we can do. And if that's not good enough for somebody, then get them the hell out of your life. If they're going to make you feel bad about that, get rid of them. I'm serious. Like, I'm really proud of Roll Tide for sharing that. That's not easy to say, I'm sure. It's hard enough to say I have a drinking problem, right? That's hard enough. But I have a drinking problem that has really made it hard to manage relationships, is super in tune. And I appreciate you sharing that. I feel these streams give me hope and strength. I do too. Something happened to me this morning that I would only want to share with a very close friend. But even though I have friends, the ones I would trust are not always available, so have been down all day. Armine, that's horrible. I'm really sorry to hear that. I don't know what it is, but I hope you're all right. That makes me feel sad. Vicky says, "You just said it. I cannot have someone who feels like we need to talk every day. It's too much. Even my significant other, who I've been with for 20 years, calls me too much some days." I remember that. Yeah, I remember that on the Zoom call. You told us that. Yeah, Kevin. Hey, Lenora Gray. I would say I'm not a needy person with that. Now, since I lost my friends, I lean into Tommy a lot. And I've said this before. I feel like I'm doing it too much. I can tell, like, I haven't talked to Tommy since last night, and I've been having some issues with some stuff, and I can tell when I need a friend. And like, I texted him today and I'm like, I need to talk more than this today. Like, but he's been busy today. He's been out. He went to rehab today to help the people. So it's like, I'm not mad at him for it, but I can tell that like, this is where I need that outlet, that avenue. I need those female friendships because Tommy can't be my everything. He can't be my girlfriend. He can't be my therapist. He can't be my mother and my father and my boyfriend. I can't expect to bleed him like that. And I recognize that. But it doesn't change the fact that like I really do wish that I had those female relationships that I could lean into, that I could pick up the phone and go, "Do you have a minute? I just have something." I really do have certain things that I'm like, "Damn it." Like I wish I could phone a friend right now. For the last week or two, I've felt that way at least once a day. I'm like, God, I wish I had a friend that I could lean into with this. This isn't me going, "Oh, I need your opinion on this to make a decision." No, no, no. It's just there's certain things that I'm like, I wish I could work this out with someone. Hey, Geoplanet Jane. Like, I wish there were things I could bounce off of another person to be kind of a soundboard. And so I can't lean into Tommy all day for that, though. That's not fair. He can't be my fucking everything. It just doesn't work like that for me. Fourth year, our third together. Fourth year. Fourth year. I got outed on New Year's Eve of 2022. I started my channel August 1st, 2023. This will be the third year. You're confusing me. Right. 3 years out, 2 years together. It's okay to need people sometimes. Absolutely it is. I'm quiet. I have fault stresses and trust issues, but I try to be there for whoever needs me. Yeah, jam, totally. You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to keep that in mind too. And you can't set you on fire to keep somebody warm. There's so many things that run through my head all the time that I'm like, I can't do this, but I can do this. Like, again, the boundary thing is such a, it's a new one. It's a new one that I'm exploring. I'm tasting, I'm testing the water. I'm feeling what works for me with boundaries and what works for other people. I like to know their boundaries. Boundaries are a beautiful, I know we use that term a lot, like people throw around narcissist a lot. Boundaries, though, is a really, thanks, Yadira. Everybody hydrate. Boundaries is a really important thing because I just equate boundaries to clarity. They're not a bad thing. They're not scary. They're not weird. Boundaries equal clarity. I used to think in my mind, boundaries equals walls up. Boundaries equal roadblocks. Not really. They're clarity. If you know them, then we're set up for things to be streamlined and run smoothly. If you know them and cross them, then we have to deal with that, the consequences to that. But if I know your boundaries, I'm going to not cross them. It's just clarity. It's peace, Shelley. Boundaries are peace and clear. Just clear habits. That's all they are. Because I think it's important to say that because I always used to think of them as something scary, right? Why is my phone doing that? Friends respect boundaries. Correct. But if it's our third new year, then it's her fourth year out of Scientology because I didn't know her the year she got outed. All I know is this, babe. I'll give you the exact date. December 31st, 2022 is when he flashed my name up on screen. August 1st, 2023, I started a channel. That's all. You're right. I'm just telling you, this December 31st will be 3 years since I came out of Scientology. Boundaries are guardrails. They keep you in your lane. Boundaries are the foundation of a good relationship communication. Yeah. Yes. It's simple. It's just peace and clarity. And I'm sorry, but we're going to circle back to this real quick because I'm dealing with some things behind the scenes with people who, hey, Glenda, people who I'm making excuses for. I'm making excuses for their bad behavior. I'm dealing with a little bit of bad behavior behind the scenes. And for whatever good reason, I have been with these people going, well, like I said earlier, I've said it many times in this stream, but like, well, they have 4 kids. Well, you know, her son is going through, well, he blah, blah, blah. I'm done with it. If you are being cruel, passive aggressive, ugly, crossing boundaries, you are contributing to the abuse of whatever it is. If you know that I'm insecure about something and you say, well, we could always do this as a solution or whatever it is that I'm insecure about, you are contributing to that. You're being abusive. I'm just trying to, for me, narrow this down into something I can just kind of form and put in my pocket and carry with me. Rationalizing, yes, for bad behavior, Wendy. And I do it a lot. And I'm really sick of it. Like when Jeff used to treat me that way, I would say in my head, well, if I didn't bring up the gestures and poke at him about the gestures, he wouldn't have treated me that way. Now, the whole thing was a toxic swamp, right? If you are being ugly to another person, you're the problem. You're contributing to bad behavior. I'm sorry. I'm not going to dissect this shit anymore as best as I can. I say that. I'm still going to because that's my demeanor. It's how I am. But if I say it out loud enough, like I'm doing, I'm hoping I can change my behavior to stop rationalizing and making excuses for shitty comments. I don't care if it's huge. I don't care if it's some big thing that they did, betrayal, act of betrayal, or if it's just some passive aggressive comment. I don't give a shit. And I don't care if it's a family member, right? Like, I know how you made me feel. And I'm not going to excuse and go, well, maybe I took it wrong. See, this kind of goes back to being a Scientologist. Like, well, how did you pull that in? Scientologists are constantly responsible for everything. L. Ron Hubbard said that we're responsible for our entire environment, which means the people in the room. I've said this 100 times. There's a policy that LRH wrote. LRH says if you get attacked by a grizzly bear out in the wild, you have to take responsibility for the attack because you put the bear there in that situation and you put yourself in the situation where the bear was and you had something to do with that environment. So you need to take responsibility for the bear even being there. I was raised on that policy. So I would say Scientologists don't have a problem. Scientologists typically are not like, it wasn't me, it was her. No. Because we get written up all the time and we get asked, what did you do to pull that in? What did you do to pull that in? What did you do? So I feel like Scientologists have no problem taking accountability, but I could be wrong on that. I think it's hardest with family because you feel like you have to keep the peace, but you don't. Carrie, great point. Says who? I'm sorry. Again, you're not going to sit in my boat and drill holes in it. I don't care if it's your mom. I don't care if it's your grandmother, your fucking sister, your first grade teacher, your boss. You are not going to sit and pretend to be in a boat with me while drilling holes in the back. I don't care who you are. A good friend of mine always says, and I finally got it. She says this to me a lot. You're doing good, Reese. She said, what does she say? Are you in here, babe? I tell you what she says. She says something like, you're doing good. You've got the bridges pulled up. You've got the water filled, the moats out, the alligators are filled in the water. And what she says that to me a lot. She's like, good for you, Reese. You've got the gates up, water's full with alligators, and the moat's out. And I always was like, I don't know what she means. And I'm not brave enough to say, what the hell does that mean? Like, she's been saying it to me for a while. And I'm like, yep, alligators are out. Like, I was like, I don't understand. And I told Tommy one night, and he goes, oh, yeah. And he broke it down for me. And I was like, oh. And what she means is you're protecting your peace. You're in your castle. You've got the gates pulled up so nobody can get in. So nobody has keys and access to your front door. You've got your alligators out, which means your self-awareness is up. And you're not letting just anybody come trampling into your fucking living room. Excuse my language tonight. I think I'm going to start ovulating. Yeah. That's all it is. You're not going to set yourself on fire anymore to keep other people warm. And I don't care if it's your grandmother. I don't care if it's your dad. That doesn't give anybody the excuse to set you on fire. And you have complete control who enters your queendom. Teresa, yes. As you should. I'm not asking to control other people. I'm not telling other people what to do. But it's important to me that I be in control of my own castle. It's important to me that you don't have keys to the locks. Hey, no one. I mean, it'd be like leaving. I heard someone say this. It'd be like leaving your front door open and then coming home and someone's laying on your couch, flipping through your TV, watching movies, eating your food. You going to be mad at them for that? Not really. You left your door open. It's the same thing. If you're going to let people set you on fire, if you're going to let anybody have access to the front door, if you're going to let people say whatever and do whatever and not set up the clarity of the boundary, I take full responsibility for even Jeff. As shitty as it was what he did, I stuck around and remained in the punching bag. I didn't establish anything like to say this isn't going to fly. I mean, I tried in the beginning, but he blew through those boundaries. He didn't give a shit. That's when you take action and go, okay, you're not going to care. I'm going to leave. You will not have access to me anymore. That's how that works. Alligators are out. Moats are filled. Drawbridge is going to be back up then. You're not allowed in. Abigail, I hate all who deal crookedly. I will have nothing to do with them. I will not tolerate people who slander their neighbors. I will not endure conceit and pride. Wow, that's beautiful. That's a great scripture. Thank you, Abigail. Old Testament. I've had to put up boundaries with my mom over politics. We have complete opposite views, and she has a hard time keeping it to herself. We've had a few rounds over it. Yeah, I can imagine. I was married to someone who was extremely political and made his views clear. And whether you liked it or not, you're going to vote for who he thinks you should vote for. It was not a live and let live situation. He did that all the time. Jeff would literally start a Twitter war, like just hundreds of comments going back and forth with people just to fight them about who they should vote for. And I would go, why can't you just let people vote who they're going to vote for? Who cares? And he'd go, because they're wrong. And I have to show them the truth with these links. And I got to post these links so that they can see that their candidate is evil. And I was like, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard. Like, you're a bad person if you can't live and let live based on like who somebody wants to support politically. That's insane. I don't give a shit which side you're on. If you have to go like balls to the wall to be like, you're a piece of shit for voting for this person, it's like, just live and let live. Can we just like live and just respect people's opinions? That's why we don't talk about politics here. I'm not getting into that shit with people. Hey, Kathy Burkhart. Yes, Kevin. Jill says, curious, what was Jeff's mom like toward me? She was very slimy, like that. Like, she was very kind, but super judgmental, super condescending. Very, very, very judgy. His entire family was very judgy. Like, we accept everyone, we're Christian. But then they would turn around in the next sentence and really, really be ugly, condescending, very slimy, very like, well, why would they do that? Like, just very on a high horse about others. They would judge people looking down at them. That's how that went. Oh God, yes, Teresa. But then she would call Jeff and he would answer it on speakerphone and go, hello, mother. And she'd go, how's my little boy? Hi, baby. It was so creepy. It was so like Jeff was on this pedestal that nobody else could reach. Like, she just worshiped him and he worshiped her. And it was creepy. Every time I'd hear her be like, how's my baby? I was like, oh, he's 66 years old. Gross. Is Jeff a Scientologist? No, he is a help me. Guys, what is he? Starts with an M. Right? Doesn't it start with an M? Not Mormon. What is he? It's like Baptist. It's like everything else. There's like Baptist, Lutheran, Presbyterian. Damn, I have no idea. He's one of the Methodists. Thank you, Buffy. Thank you, Angie Mo. Thank you, Margie Barr. Yeah, she would do it every time. And she'd be like, how's my baby? And I was like, oh, I don't like that. Huxley was in his teens and I wouldn't talk like that. It was just like over the top, like slimy and like syrupy and weird. But then she would say, like, how's my baby? And like toward the end of our marriage, he would say like something about me and she would go, oh, is she there? I'll call you back whenever she's not there. Like, she was a slime ball. I'm sorry, but she was a backstabbing type of person. But then she'd turn around and say, I'm a Christian and everybody has a seat at God's table. Or she'd say something like, everybody gets to sing in God's choir. But like, then she would turn around and be like, oh, is she there? Ugh. I remember one year, it was the first year I got to have Huxley for Thanksgiving. My first Thanksgiving with my own son. She was furious that we weren't going to do it with her. She wanted us to do it there. And she was like, I'm old and I'm not going to be around forever. And I need you guys to come here. And I said to Jeff, that makes total sense. And I think that's a fair fight. You go spend it with your mom. I'm going to spend Thanksgiving for the first time with my son with me. Do you mind? Like, can I please have him just like for the first time, just me and him? Like, and if you want to be here, Jeff, great. But like, I want to have my very first one. And she didn't know I was listening. And he had her on speaker. And he said, I know, Mom, but Reese wants to do it here with Huxley. And she goes, well, she doesn't know what Huxley wants. He would rather spend it with us than her. And I was like, what did she just fucking say? And she goes, he would rather be with us. I guarantee you. He would rather be with us than her. And I was like, her? I'm his mom. I'm not like the dirty side chick. I'm his mom For you to say that, but then in the same fucking sentence go, all of God's children have a place in the choir. I cannot stand people who pull that, I'm a Christian. And then in the same sentence, don't use God. Be a slimy piece of shit. By all means, they're everywhere. The ocean's full of them. Be a slimy piece of shit, but don't include God. That's all that I ask. It's okay. We've all been I've been a slimy piece of shit before, but don't hide behind God and don't use God as an excuse. Hey, whine a little bit more. You cannot say all of God's children this and then be like, ugh, I hate her. Like, that's just not how that works. Joanne, it's extremely hypocritical. I'll tell you right now, I've met a handful of people, not a lot, but it's a huge red flag. Everybody I've ever met in my life that goes, I'm a Christian, has been a red flag, has been a backstabbing asshole, has been slimy, condescending, not who they say they are. If you are a Christian, if you are a Methodist, if you are a Presbyterian, if you are a Jewish, I don't need you to prove anything to me. Just be it. You didn't see me running around being like, I'm a Scientologist. Like, what does that even mean? Is that your identity? I don't know what that means. I don't need to know that. That's like saying, I'm a Democrat. Okay. Does that define you? I don't need to know that. Quite honestly, I don't need to know any of those things about you. That doesn't define who you are. I'm also a mother. That doesn't define me. I'm a YouTuber. That doesn't define me. I'm discovering God. That doesn't define me. I'm a lot of things, right? Like I'm a lot of things. But I think it's very strange to say like all of God's children, we're Christians, and then turn around and be a backstabber. It's not a good look. It never works out. Yeah, Kestrel, it's odd. Well, Shelley says Jesus will show her what she deserves. Well, here's the thing. Like it's above my pay grade. People who treat other people like shit, I believe something will happen to you for that. You don't get away with it forever. But it's also not something I'm going to hold my breath about. It's not something where I'm going to be like, karma will come around. I don't give a shit. I'm out of their life. They're out of my life. I don't care what happens. I really don't. It's not important to me. Like, I'm going in this direction. That's all that matters. I want to be a certain type of person to myself and to others. And that's all that matters. I don't, how much people lie or are fakes, disingenuous, they're not who they say they are. They know it. I know it. Label it, move on. I don't care like to hold on to it at the same time. What will be, right? Like, and I'm sure it will be. I have no doubt that God will take care of that, but it's not anything I hope for or wish on or hang my breath on, right? That's been my experience of any man that has said I'm a great husband or father. Only good ones say, yeah, it's such a good point, Teresa. It's like people who say they're rich or people who have to put on display their money and like show all of their status symbols. Those are the people who are typically in debt up to their ears. I've seen it a lot. Really rich people don't show it off. Money talks, wealth whispers. Wealthy people, you typically have no idea they're wealthy. They don't drive their assets. They don't put it all on display. They don't rub it in your face. They don't do any of that. It's very similar. It's all those things. If you have to tell me about it, if you have to try to show me with all the gold and beautiful things you have, you're probably broke as shit. Quite honestly, it's probably all credit card debt. And that's your business. I don't need to know. But it's true. Like, if you have to share that you're a Christian, it's like money talks, wealth whispers. A real Christian whispers. They don't have to, who are you proving this to? Why are you trying to prove to me that you're something, that you have money, that you have a closeness to God, that you, any of those things, that you are a good father, that you're a good husband? If you have to tell me that, it's an automatic red flag. I already think a little bit, I'm questioning your character a little bit. Why do I need to know you're a good father? Why do you need to tell me that? It's a red fucking flag to me. I'm sorry, but it is. I know you're a G Merrick. God, my nose is drippy. The best thing is having no debt, Renee B. No question. I know you're not a Taylor Swift fan, but her song "Tolerate It" reminds me so much of you and your dad, and you and Jeff as a result of your dad. You should really read the lyrics. I'd love to. I'm actually a little more of a fan of hers every day. I like her character. I think I like her as a person. I like how much she likes animals. If you love animals, you're kind of good in my book. Kevin, no question. And oh, thanks, Yadira. So yeah, I will tolerate it. I will. There's a couple of songs by her that I actually have heard that I like. One of them is called Lover. I really like that song. It makes me think of me and Tommy. What's the other one? Now That We Don't Talk. There's one in my playlist. Maybe it's not her. I guess it's just those two. I thought there was another one. Oh, it's called Last Kiss. I really like that song. And then she's my favorite band in the world is The National, and she sings with The National called The Alcott, and I love that. The Alcott's one of my favorite songs by The National. My point is there's like 4 or 5 songs by her that I like, maybe 3 or 4. I don't know what I just named off. But yeah, I will. I will look. I will definitely look. The thing that defines us is our behavior, our integrity, our respect for others, just being a decent person. So, Joanne, this is so true. Again, we go back to the funeral talk. When you're dead one day, if someone if Jojo, I've seen him 3 times in concert. The National has been my favorite band since they formed a band. I love Matt Berninger. I love him. I love his voice. I love his lyrics. I know every song by The National and I listen to him all the time. Going to your funeral, I'm not going to think about anything else other than how did you make me feel? What was the impression that you made on me? So Joanne's right. Our behavior, our integrity, our respect for others, being a decent person, how much you liked animals, how you treated your family, how you treated children. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about, I loved her earrings. I hated when she went brunette. She was such a pretty blonde. I'm not thinking any of those things. I'm thinking, oh, tell Terry hi. I really loved Terry. He's so nice. I liked him. This is Shelly's husband. I met him. I really liked him because he makes you work for it. He doesn't, you can tell he's a very guarded person. He actually is the one who inspired me about the friendship talk tonight. He made a good point about friendships. Like, what is a friend? Not a friend to you might be a friend, a different definition of it to somebody else. I really liked Terry because he did not trust me at first. And I'm not sure I walked away with him liking or trusting me. I still wasn't sure. But I think he warmed up a little bit around me. But I kind of like people like him because he makes you work for it. He doesn't just own up and like assume you're a great person and just let you have access to him. He kind of makes you work for it. And I liked that. I could feel his suspicions. I could feel this is Shelly's husband. I got to meet him. They drove through town and they took the time to meet me and come near my house. I just really liked him and I want him to know I appreciated that. I actually kind of like the idea of adopting that as my own policy. I liked how sure of himself he was. He was very guarded, but he was very sure of himself. He just was testing the waters, and I liked that about him. It's fun to see a younger generation of singers that know their strength and power when they're young. I feel like they are really learning from I do too, and that's another reason I like Taylor Swift is I feel like she's empowered a lot of women, young women. I think that she stands for good things. I don't think she's like one of those creepy Hollywood people. I could be wrong. I don't know a whole lot, but I actually feel like she beats to her own drum and she just seems like a truly positive individual. I could be totally wrong about this. It's not like I sit around all day worshiping Taylor Swift. All I know is what I've seen the little bits of her, but she does seem like a good inspirational person for young women and anybody that believes in their voice and their power and steps into it and leads people or inspires people, helps people. I also like how much she pays her people. I think she's very wealthy or generous with her wealth. I love people like that. She's not stingy. She loves animals. All those things kind of make me like her more. But I don't know. She could be a total asshole underneath it all, and I have no idea. I just like what I've seen. I like what I've seen. I very much admire that she is in charge of her career and finances. I feel the same way. Those things make me like her. I don't know anything about Billie Eilish, but I do like that about her. Thank you, Shelley, and tell Terry it's an honor. I'm honestly love that he stopped by. Scientology is not a religion. It calls itself one to get the tax exemption. They pretend to be ministers and have rituals, etc., etc. Like Doug did when lying to the nurses. Oh, it's such a good example. Yep. You're dead on to rights there, Geoplanet Jane. It's exactly what Doug did. They abuse power. They think that they are in charge of the world. They think they can walk all over people, and therefore they do. They assert ownership and dominance over human beings, and it's disgusting, and it's a fucking cult. And I hate them. Oh, sorry, I already read that. What was I going to say? Oh, I love this. I love what a powerful girl boss. That's what I mean. Any woman that's super independent and her own boss and sets that kind of an example, she's good in my book. I love that. I love seeing women build their own empires. I love seeing women grow huge and inspire people. Women are where it's at for me. I know there's men out there that can be very inspirational as well, but I love, especially the younger, like Taylor Swift being a younger woman. It's so admirable to me. It's inspirational. And we love you, Teresa. Thank you. I like women who are strong and powerful like that can kind of show that leadership. It's inspiring. Speaking of women, speaking of our girl, there she is. I got my Christmas tree up, but not decorated. The house smells like a lovely forest. I love Original Anne. She sent me the most beautiful picture of her living room the other day with all of her lights up, and it was so cozy and warm. And she brought so much to the Zoom call, and I just love Original Anne, and I love seeing her. We are past the 2-hour mark. The whole Doug story bothers me in ways I didn't think possible. Okay, actually, Wendy, this is extremely validating. What you just said, I don't think you meant it that way, but this is validating because I am struggling with this. I'm still really struggling with this. I might have to talk about it a little bit more in the coming days, and I understand if you don't want to be a part of it. I feel like, again, I'm being a downer about Doug. There's something, it's just, I'm not finished. I have to talk about it some more. And I may have to do that this week. God, I keep thinking it's like Sunday or Monday. It's fucking Wednesday. Where's this week going? What's happening? Christmas is like 3 weeks away. What happened to December? What happened to November? It is, Angie Mo. That's why I love The Devil Wears Prada, a woman that becomes independent and strong. I love that movie. Sophia, you're right. Thank you, West Coast Fancy Nancy. I don't expect everyone to show up for it, and I understand why you would not. But I feel like there's some things I need to get out of my system. I'm not done. There's just, ever since it came up a couple weeks ago, I'm like, I just can't. Hey, Sandy Kovacs, there's something, I have to go over it again. There's just something that I haven't mentioned. There's something that's like poking at me. There's a thorn in my side about it. And it may take a couple of streams. It may take a couple of years for me to heal from it. I think I haven't fully worked through it. The damage that man actually did to me and my son. And I think it's so much more massive than I'm giving it the attention it deserves. Of all of my Scientology, I would say he was one of the most damaging people. Like, did the most damage, and I'm just not done talking about it because I think we just started talking about it. I just started realizing the damage, and I'm not done. And if that's okay with you guys, yes, giving it a name, Sophia. Yes, Renee B. Exactly. He did destroy that bond, and I think I just realized it in the last short amount of time. Yeah, Pat Jonas says there's so many layers to unpack. I'm not fully I'm not settled about it, and I'm not even close to settled. Yeah, Florence, and if you guys are okay with it, oh, I love that, Anne. I think that we have to process a little bit more. For those of you that can stomach it, I would appreciate you coming, because it's almost like I said, we need the coven or covent or whatever it is. It's like witches. Like, I need a little bit of a support system there for those who can stomach it, because yes, this is it right here. Shelly Kelly. I think the depth of Doug's damage is more than you realize. I feel like it goes even deeper still. That's exactly what I've been trying to say for the last 5 minutes. That it's more than I realized, and it goes way deeper, guys. And there's something to this that I haven't fully worked out, and I have to get through it. Thank you, Renee B. Thank you to my ladies who are willing to do it. I just feel like I need you. This is one of those things where, like, I need you because I need to read what you have to say about it. Like Shelly Kelly just said, it helps me. Yeah, original Anne, I loved that when you said it the first time, calling it out and giving it a name. This is how we heal. Sam Ashby. The problem is, like she said here, calling it out and giving it a name. I don't think we've called it all out. And I think this is why I haven't healed from it. We've scratched the surface. I think we've made some good headway, but I don't think that we've gone under the surface yet. And I know that a lot of people would disagree with what I'm about to say. A lot of people would say, and YouTube is not the place to deal with it, Reese. I disagree. I think this shines big light. Yeah, you've dipped a toe. I think this shines big light on the abuse, which should always be shined. I think it's been hidden and we've kept it a secret long enough. You can see what it's done to me as a human being by keeping it a secret, and it's time to talk about it. Shalise Ansola said to me at the end of the interview, of the second interview, she said, all of this sounds very dangerous. Why do you talk about it publicly? And it really got me thinking. And all I could think was, what is the alternative? My entire life, I did not share the Dan O'Connor story. There was abuse going on with Doug. Scientology is its own judge, jury, and executioner. They don't go to the police about anything. They don't report anything. Predators are rewarded in Scientology. Doug was rewarded. Fucking enough. We're breaking the silence. We're not going to keep quiet about it. And I think YouTube is the perfect place to talk about it, to shine that light. I'm lucky enough to be talking to 205 people right now, to have a platform big enough to be heard. And this needs to be heard. And what if there are under the radar people listening? What if there's somebody who has their own story of abuse that they've kept quiet about, that they can finally get the courage to report about? I'm done being quiet about this stuff. Then the gestures and my ex-husband going, you will never talk about this. Quote, do you think you're the first wife to find out about this? You will be silenced. Quote, Jeff said to me, you will be silenced. Exact quote. Fuck you. And the same goes for Scientology and Doug. I'm not going to be silenced. It's worth it. If something happens to me, I guess something happens to me. At least I was able to voice it to the world. and people can know about it. Not yet, time arc. I'm not going to be silenced. I was silenced for a very long time. I was threatened, intimidated. I'm not going anywhere. Doug was rewarded for being such a predator, and we're going to take that away from him. We're going to take that power away and put it where it should be, which is educating the audience, YouTube, the world. This isn't the only platform I'm going to take this to. YouTube is tiny. YouTube is where we started. YouTube is not where we end. I will be speaking on this topic at other events, on other platforms, on other podcasts. Just wait. This is the tip of the iceberg, and I have to be able to use my voice at least here on my own channel before I can take it to other places. And I will be doing that. Oh, God, Angie. Abigail, closing. Don't do your good deeds publicly to be admired by others, for you will lose the reward from your Father in heaven. Give your gifts in private, and your Father, who sees everything, will reward you. I love that, and I think there's a lot of truth to it. I think that's kind of why I think it's weird when people go film feeding homeless people or something. Like, are you doing that for clout, or are you doing it to actually help people? Why are you volunteering at a soup kitchen while taking pictures to post on Instagram? That's what that makes me think of. And thank you, Abigail. That was very kind of you. Thank you for the super chat. I very much appreciate it, my friend. What do you think his daily life is like now? This is a great question. What do we all think that Doug's daily life is like now? I got no clue. My guess is he's aged a lot. He probably doesn't look like the same guy. I'd love to know if he thinks about Huxley. I'd love to know what he thought of Huxley on his birthday this year. I'd love to know what he will think about him on Christmas. I'd love to know what he thought on Thanksgiving. I'd love to know those things. And it's probably not healthy that I want to know those things, but I want to know if they think about him, not me, him. We've taken Doug's power away, or even better, he did it to himself when he permitted Scientology to cut him off from Huxley. GeoPlanet Jane, that's very powerful. It's a great point. Would Michael have any insight on what's going on with his parents? He won't share it with me, Original Ann. I don't think that he has hardly any communication with him, but I've tried to ask. He won't tell me. He's been coached on he's not allowed to tell me anything. I tried to ask him. I said, "Do you talk to your parents?" And he was like, yeah, sometimes." He's very closed up. It's very clear that he has been coached to shut his mouth, which who cares? I don't need to know. We know they're shitty parents. We know what they did to him at a young age. Like, it's not like they're better now, right? Oh, Doug and Brenda 100% are being sec checked, Stacey Toms, till the end of time. They're probably sec checked weekly, if not at least monthly, maybe monthly at this point. But I promise you, they are put on the cans at least once a month and asked, do you ever go look at Reese's channel? Have you had any communication with Reese or Huxley? Have you looked? Have you Googled anything? Have they reached out to you? They are security checking the shit out of Doug and Brenda, and they will get that the rest of their lives. Yeah, because they're too afraid that he's going to reach out. Doug's going to reach out at some point to Huxley. So he will be put on the cans until the end of time. Did you watch her channel? Did you reach out to them? Did you go Google anything about them? Did you try to talk to Huxley? Did you look Huxley up? Did you anything? They're going to, sec checked at their own expense, Original Ann. And most likely Brenda's still on the floor scrubbing toilets and will until the end of time. And that's her choice. That's their fucking choice. And hey, Hux, I think Moose is at the front door. Can you let him in? Oh, he is. He's crying like a little girl. It's a wonder to me they stay in. Well, Abigail, it's their whole life. They have been Scientologists since like 1986. She's been on staff for like 40 years. The rest of their entire family is in. All of their friends and family are in. Doug's job depended on it. It's just not that easy. I know I just said it's a choice, and it is a choice, but it's still a hard to make choice to just leave it. They'd have to leave their other kid. They have another son with a daughter-in-law with 2 grandchildren. They would never be able to see them again if they leave. It's a tough choice. It's a mind prison. What does Huxley think about Doug now? I think he hates him, Biggie Cat, and I say that mindfully. He has said that to me. I hate Doug. I knew that was going to happen. He was going to really turn that abandonment from Doug into hate and resentment at some point. And I think that's, I'd have to ask Huxley now. That's the last time he told me that, which was quite a while ago. I'd have to ask him now. And I don't always just want to bring it up out of nowhere because it's a painful topic. If it were to come up, I would ask Huxley. I would like to know Huxley's viewpoint on Doug. It's really sad that they disconnected from Hux, but why do you want to know how much they think about the disconnection? Will their feelings make a difference? I think, Time Mark, because it's not that it would make a difference, it's the lack of closure there. It's the total betrayal of Doug's last words to Huxley being, I'll call you, we'll keep this together, we're family. I think it's just the anger that I still feel. And that may change, but I still wonder because of the lack of closure. I think I just wonder, do they miss him? Do they think about him? Like, I'm curious about that. It's my own morbid curiosity, I guess. If you came face to face with Doug, what do you think you would say? Great question. I think I'd be aggressive. I don't yell. I'm not a yeller, but I think I would say something like, you had so much power over us. You took motherhood from me. You took it out from under me. You stole so many things of his childhood and my motherhood. And I wish I could buy those things back, but I can't. And I think you're a horrible person. And I think you will get whatever is meant to come for you because of that. I don't want to say something like, I hope that you go to hell or you'll rot in hell or anything like that, because I don't hope for people to go to hell. But I would probably say something like, you will probably get what's coming to you for what you did to us. You were an abusive, horrible man, and you disguised it behind love and attention and things and money. And it's the worst kind of abuse. And you make my stomach turn. And I'm truly sorry that I allowed that I allowed a predator like you anywhere near my fucking family. My father, I hold a higher level than Doug, because at least my dad said, fuck you. Don't ever call me again. You're not my kid and I'm not your dad. He set up those boundaries, and boundaries are clarity, and he made it clear. Doug disguised it all behind a curtain of smoke and mirrors, going, come on in, the water is warm, whilst being an absolutely evil fucking predator. And he stole Huxley's childhood and he stole motherhood from me. And it was all by design. I can't think of a worse type of character. Jeff was the same way. Jeff saw an opportunity in me, that I was an easy to manipulate little cult girl, and he took full advantage of that. Doug did the same thing. At least my dad just dumped me openly out in the open and said, I hate you. Don't call me. I hold him in a higher regard. That's probably what I would say. Hey, Tampa A. Thank you, girl. He's a master manipulator, and those are the most dangerous kinds, Nancy, for sure. There is a lot to say. I'm not trying to play it down. I didn't mean to upset you. You didn't upset me. It's obvious there are robots now. Why give them the power? I think you're right. You're not wrong. I think I'm just not fully processed enough to it to feel that way. I'm not healed enough to see it that way. I've said this before. I'm very hateful toward Doug and Brenda, and I don't want to be hateful toward anyone. I need to work through that so that I can feel exactly what you're saying. You're not wrong. I'm just not healed enough to see it that way yet. Yeah, Sophia. He will be in hell of his own making. He probably already is. If I had to guess, he's miserable. Great movie, Renee B. Yes, that's right, Sophia. He's in a hell of his own making already, I have no doubt. Guys, we went really long today. I appreciate you listening. It's interesting. I wonder what anguish he might have for following Scientology and giving up access to his reincarnation. I mean, I love you being here, Tampa A. We don't get to see you very often. What are these fucking people going to look back on? And when I say people, Doug and Brenda, well, my dad, people who spent 5, 6 decades in Scientology, gave all their money, gave up their family, gave up everything, and they're going to close their eyes for the last time someday and go, oh shit, I wasted my whole life on this. I gave up my children for this. It will happen. I'm sure it has happened to so many Scientologists that have, it's a total waste. All the money they made, they gave it to Scientology. Their children, they gave to Scientology. They'll have to deal with that. I'd much rather be on the other side of it, like I am, dealing and picking up the pieces of the abuse, the trauma, the hurt. I would much rather be working through the mud that I'm working through than the shit they're going to have to work through. Reese, we're here for the long haul. Stop apologizing for long chats. We're here. Thank you. I don't know why I apologize for that time, Mark. It's a good point. Well, we've seen the kind of shape Brenda's in. Doug can't be much better. I agree. He's probably doesn't look good at all. If I had to guess, he probably looks awful. That's what you say to him. Oh, by the way, your father says he hates you and he'll never speak to you again. Forgive me. No, wait. No, I stand by it. It's not inaccurate. It's true. I just wonder what they think. I do. I wonder what they think. We'll never know. I won't know when they die. I won't know anything. Time, Mark. So I will be back. Tomorrow's Thursday. I'm going to lunch with my mom tomorrow. Weird. She invited me. It's my only time this week that I could do that. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be back in the afternoon. I'll probably be on around normal time. I would say 4:30 my time, which is Central. If you guys are willing, I don't like to set a topic in advance because I never know what I'm going to talk about. But I think there are some things that I need to say, and tonight helped. This last 45 minutes certainly helped. But if you don't mind coming for it, and I understand, don't do it if it's triggering or if it's like, put your mental wellness first, always. But if you can be here for it, just for me to work through some stuff, I really appreciate it. And just your feedback about things, even like I said, this last 45 minutes has been healing for me. And I just think I'm not done and I need to talk about it. On that note, thank you for the super chats tonight. I want to say big thank you for those. It's very helpful. It always helps me in Hux. Thank you for being members. And real quick, she is awake, Buffy. She just sat up. So Buffy wanted to see you real quick. I don't know if Armina is still here, but Buffy wanted to see you and your cute little Whoville pawpaws. And you're really small and really dainty as shit. Really tiny and shit. And we're going to go eat our dins. But you're really small these days. And she doesn't like how chilly it is. She says, I'd like to move to a beach where it's warm all day. Oh my God, Armine never sleeps. Thank you guys. Thank you. Again, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. 200 people in 2.5 hours is so validating. You have no idea. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon, and we'll talk a little more about this. I have more to say. All right, everybody, here comes Fred. Have a good night.